episode 203, take 1. And we need a cold open, don't we?
Do we?
Oh, we kind of do, actually, don't we?
It's just like
We're
ready
not
to get
performing-
straight down and busy.
We're not performing monkeys.
We're going to get straight into it, going raw.
Now we've got to think of one on the spur of the on a whim or whatever
Well,
we call
I
it.
am. You guys keep saying I'm a chimchar, so technically I'm a performing monkey.
You're a FOMO monkey, you're a performing monkey.
Performing FOMO monkey.
I know what's going to get Milo excited. His little Italian friend's favourite day of the year is in a few days.
Ooh.
What's it?
Pizza my
Panettone Day.
favourite.
Yes, next Sunday.
Yeah.
Bless
He's
him.
excited, isn't he? Bless him.
Well, Ian, I'm excited because I said to you, I made a very bold statement about 5 weeks ago where I said the Vikings would make the playoffs this
You
year.
did? Yeah.
And they've made them. They've made them.
Well done.
12 and 2.
Good news.
Three
They're not
games-
going to win the Super Bowl, but at least you made the playoffs.
Oh, of course they won't win the Super Bowl. Vikings have never won the Super
That's
Bowl.
not what he said.
No, he never actually committed to that. No,
Yes.
he didn't. Yeah.
No. So I'm happy. It's nearly the new year, man.
It's nearly
That's
the
crazy.
new year. Yeah.
Last time we're sitting down to do this in 2024.
Yeah. Not that we're going to be recording again in a few days. But anyway, shall we get into it?
Yes. Let's round out the year strong.
Incense style.
On this week's show, normally I would say Happy New Year, but it's the New Year show, but it's not quite the New Year. We'll get into that in a little bit. So, tonight, Milo is kind of perplexed because he's finished celebrating Christmas, but he's not quite started celebrating New Year.
Oh, you're expecting reaction, are you?
I was, obviously not now.
Obviously not there, Ian.
Mark's only just got back from Leeds, and I'm still eating turkey leftovers. I think I've said that one last year
How
as
big's
well.
your
But
turkey?
welcome back to the New Year's show of Incense Podcast. Yes, it's a couple of days before, but because New Year falls midweek, so we'd rather get it in early than do it late. Because
Oh, you
let's
always
face
say
it,
the
we're
on-passer.
late for everything, aren't we? We're very unprofessional that way. But
No, we're not.
episode 200.
Fashionably late.
Fashionably
No,
late.
we're
Yeah,
not.
we're like the Guns N' Roses of podcasters. Anyway, this is episode 203 of the Incense Podcast. I'm Ian Waterfall, and with me, as always, we got my boys, PoGoMiloUK YT, and Masterful 27. Boys, how's it going?
I'm not perplexed, Ian. I'm back from Leeds. I'm buzzing, and it's good to see you. It's good to see your faces
Milo
again.
doesn't really know what to do in between Christmas and New Year, unless he's playing with his presents.
Maybe I am. You don't know.
We can't see his
don't
hands,
know what
Ian.
I'm playing.
Maybe I do know, Whitfield. Maybe I do
Careful.
know.
Ooh.
Careful there. But it is unusual because typically the New Year's show is actually a New Year's show. It either falls just before or is on New Year's, just the way the
Yeah,
calendar's worked
it's
out. But
never normally half a
now-
week either side.
it's literally like 3 days premature. So
Yeah.
thank you, calendar.
I'd rather be 3 days premature than do it 3 days late.
Absolutely. Happy New Year, but it was 3 days ago.
Wednesday,
Yes.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days late.
I guess it means we can say, listeners, we hope you had a smashing 2024.
Yes. And we hope you have an amazing
New Year's.
2025. We've certainly got big plans this year, but I think we said the same in 2024.
And did we stick
23.
to our plans? 20.
In 23, 424.
Yes,
You know what I mean.
I know
do,
what you mean.
but it's audio. We have to clarify.
Clarify the
Clarify
year.
the calendar.
clarify what on earth Ian's talking about.
Everybody has to. Everybody has to.
But
It's that time,
Ian-
isn't it?
How are you doing now you've lost the Santa hat? Did you get your £2.70 something back with a refund? Or
No, I'm saving it till next year. you will
Earn
see it on
its money.
2025's Christmas show.
earn its keep?
Earn its keep. Absolutely. Milo, where are your ears gone?
Under
the
his headphones.
Smooches.
But the shelf elf duty has very much been done and dusted for the year. Can relax, get back into the podcast swing of things.
Yeah, well, we need to, because 2025, when I said we've got big plans, it's going to be a pretty full-on year for us, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, hopefully it will.
Yes.
Hopefully
I mean,
it will.
we've already got plans for our first IRL already.
Yeah.
first two, technically, really. There's some bits and pieces we'll be talking about in the show, but of course, before we get into that good stuff, listeners, if you haven't done so already or aren't already running one...
Oi, you sleepy sailors, it's time to drop your insert.
And the reason we ask you to do this, not only because there might be something happening, event-wise in the game, etc., but if you do get anything awesome in Pokemon Go while listening to this podcast, we encourage you to let us know across our smorgasbord of socials and methods of contact that we've developed over the years. We have at Incensed Podcast over on X, Instagram, Threads, and whatever the Blue Sky handle is, because it's just a keyboard smack of things. There you go. But you can also utilize Campfire. We have a community group on there, which is lovely. If you're a part of our Patreon squad, you have the Patreon exclusive Discord, and of course, contact@incensedpodcast.com is a very usable email, and there is a WhatsApp number which doesn't cost anything other than maybe your Wi-Fi, depending on if you're at McDonald's or at home, or your 5G. Take your pick.
Or whoever you're tethering off of.
Yes, use someone else's hotspot, we recommend. But that would be +44 759 269 5696. Utilize that number and you can let us know if you get something great while listening to the show. But of course, any of those methods, you must include #Shinies of the Week.
Can you clarify the spelling?
Because we're not hungover, yes we can. It would be #SHINIESOFTHEWEEK. That has got to be attached to any message or whatever you send in. #Shinies of the Week.
And you know what? It's actually worth atting us as well.
Yes, because we're getting increasingly lazy.
Threads and Blue Sky, they're not the easiest to search. If you at us as well, it makes it a lot easier to find the messages.
Definitely. But we would love for you all to get in contact with us.
We recommend it.
That looks very English, Mark. You're sipping your cup of tea whilst...
It's a mug of coffee, Vassafal. No, it's not a sinister
We're in between
tea.
Christmas and New Year.
yeah.
So it's not any festive drinks or any sort of celebratory drinks.
It's getting me ready for the big
Well,
celebration.
they said coffee. It could be Irish coffee.
Yeah. Seeing myself in for the New Year shenanigans. That's what I'm doing.
Already? Aren't you working tomorrow?
Sobering up. What day is it today, Ian?
Today is Sunday. Tomorrow's like the 29th?
I'm off. Off until the 2nd.
Oh, sorry. No, tomorrow's the 30th.
Yeah,
Today's the 29th.
Off until the 2nd.
Oh,
2nd
it's
of
all right for
Jan.
some.
All right for some. What about you, Milo? Are you off till the 2nd?
No, there's something happening tomorrow, I'm afraid. But let's press on with the show into a very familiar section, but this is something we only get to do once a year.
Just tell me about you, mate. Just what's going on?
Wow, I had my show notes the wrong way round there. That shows you how professional
Upside
I am.
down.
That might be my New Year's resolution. Let's see how I did on my goals for 2024. So it's the getting to know you section. And with the New Year's show, which isn't quite the New Year, we like to reflect and also set ourselves targets. And that's been a staple part of our calendar journey as the show has moved on. We're going to talk about our goals that we set ourselves in 24, have a little recap on those. Grade ourselves, like the old report cards at school.
It's almost like an episode of GoCast, isn't it? Let's review
we
our
only get to do it
goals
once a
and
year.
targets.
Only once a year. Yeah, we don't have,
Not weekly,
Once a
yeah.
year,
No.
we channel our inner
Not
GoCast.
And by the way, when we say grade our cards, grade them like the E to A's, or even go
Not
for
the
you if
Pokemon
you think
cards.
you've failed. No. Let's,
Oh,
let's,
did they still do that? Because it's 1 to 10, isn't it now? The
it is, Ian. That's why I had to.
schools? Yeah.
That's why I had to sort of do it because I wasn't sure if Milo was a letter grade one
Oh,
or a number
very much
grade
a letter
one.
grade, yeah.
Oh, brilliant!
Don't worry.
There we go.
He's not that much of a fetus.
No, he's not. No, he's got a letter. He knows what letters are. Good. So I
Yeah,
want.
the things you read, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. You count with your fingers. They're numbers, aren't they?
No,
But
letters
anyway,
that you read a letter. Miles like, you mean
You
an
can
email?
read a number as well if you want to.
so what we're going to do, though, we're going to flip this around a little bit. So it'll be quite fun. So we're going to talk about 2024 goals, grade ourselves, and then we're going to start with our 2025 goals, and we're going to flip it. So we'll go back. So it'll be Ian to go first, Milo, then myself, and I'm going to start with the goals for next year.
Nice.
Followed by Milo and Ian. So Ian, remind the listeners, what did you set yourself for your 24 goals?
Yeah, my goals for 2024 were to focus and grow on YouTube and to find new ways of doing content. Also, to travel as much as I can, both locally and abroad.
And how would you say you did?
Okay, well, I did focus somewhat on YouTube, and my channel did grow this year. So, yep, we're going to take that as a
Hurrah.
win. Find new ways of doing content.
Technically, you changed video editing software.
Yeah.
I actually did. I moved from Premiere Pro to DaVinci Resolve, and I find that a lot better. And I actually, now we mention this, Whitfield, the price for Premiere Pro has actually, the subscription has gone up.
I'm very much aware.
Yes, which I'm not
rather annoying.
happy with, because we still do use that to edit the podcast. So, but DaVinci Resolve, big win. So I did kind of find a new way of doing content in terms of the editing of it. So borderline, but I'll take that as a win. To travel as much as I can. This year has been a year full of travel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's been LA, there's been Madrid, New York, and then so many events around the country that we've done together. And of course, at the back end of the year, Whitfield, we went to Köln in Germany for the last community day. So I'm going to say I travelled as much as I could do, because all of my annual leave from work has involved travelling.
As it should.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that's a clean sweep for me.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree, because we've done so much together. I mean, we'll talk about it a bit later in the show. But the three of us have definitely done a lot of bits and pieces together, whether it's the three of us or the two of us.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at what mine were, and I can say I was quite ambitious in one aspect, but probably influenced by somebody else, one of the two of you, in the rest of my answers. So the first one, which we can get a crashing row of disappointment, problematic for putting numbers on things, but it was 30,000 subscribers on YouTube.
But you got to 25, which was quite a good growth.
Like, I think what this has made me think, we'll come back to what we want for 2025, but I think numbers probably the wrong way to go for it, because we missed it by quite a big margin, but it's been a very interesting and up and down year in terms of content. Certainly not just, in the sake of making stuff on YouTube and putting that time and effort in, but the game.
I agree with you. That's why I said grow, because let's be honest, subs don't matter on YouTube. It's all about views.
This is true. And that's where I feel like there can be kind of a tangent off that. It's like, it may not have hit 30,000 subscribers, but we've definitely had the most successful year in terms of people watching the channel, which is, I'd say, probably more important in a way, and engaging in that way, because we know not everybody hits that subscribe button.
In fact, the majority of people don't.
It's technically a big fat thumbs down for that one to start with, but be more creative and open to opportunities. And that kind of feeds into more travel and to push myself. I think yes, because in terms of channel and video bits and pieces, and certainly in terms of this podcast as well, we've definitely been open to more opportunities in terms of us doing collaborative effort bits and pieces. What I've done
we have
with the solo content, challenge wise or video concept wise, more travel. Definitely. I didn't go to Madrid, unfortunately, but we were in Sardinia, and we've been to a few other bits and pieces.
I know. You're a Larry letdown for that,
Yes, but it was nice being on the
We're still not forgiving
Spelunker's Cove on that one. But LA and Köln, and we've done so much across the UK, certainly in the second half of this year. In fact, folks, I can say that with confidence for Community Day meetups, I have been outside of Ealing more this year than I have been in Ealing.
You actually have. We counted this up recently, didn't we? And I think you did about 7 or 8 away.
Yeah. So we did a lot of traveling. And the final one, to push myself, both personal life and content-wise, definitely have done, because there's been a lot of interesting changes for personal life bits and pieces, but also content-wise. Really tried to put my foot to the floor with what can be done. And I'm very happy with how 2024 turned out. But Marky, remind us what your 2024 goals were.
Yeah, mine were very simple. I didn't set anything that detailed and specific, but I just said to be better at planning things, so not leaving things very last minute. And I think we've proven that as we exit 24, we've already done something that we're planning 3 months down the line. So that's exciting. So that's
literally 5 minutes before we hit record tonight,
Yeah.
We like doing things last minute.
We do.
We do. Yeah, we do. Let's be honest. Yeah.
So I'm not saying I've done that all year, but I've certainly been better at that. And that wasn't just social, that was obviously work as well. Sort of applying myself differently to execute plans better. I think that was all fell into that.
Yeah.
I think it's been a very difficult year in construction in the UK. By doing that, it's given us the best chance of trying to get some success out of a very difficult year. So I'd say still work to go on that, but certainly been better on certain aspects of my life. And keep going with YouTube. Well, yeah, still going with YouTube.
Yeah, still here.
Still here. I think we all know as individual creators, the last year has probably seen a massive change in the YouTube algorithms now, where you could put a vlog up once a week and still get traction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's wasn't a thing back in the day of maybe 2-3 years ago. Seems like that should be fair, and I think that's right, and it allows you to put a bit more effort into doing things. I think YouTube's probably been quite kind to me in 24. It's certainly allowed me to put money into doing things involved around the game. I think for me that's been a real big change actually in my YouTube life compared to the previous years. It's actually been probably the most successful year to date in terms of, you know, for people watching it, put some of that back into the game. So that for me is what I always wanted YouTube to do, was to allow me to not have to cover it all out of my working salary, if that makes sense. You know, it's,
I think that's probably been the same for all of us, hasn't it? Because it's been across the board pretty good year for the podcast and our individual channels.
Yeah,
absolutely, and that's good, isn't it? You know, that's the reward for putting the effort into creating something that people enjoy watching. And the good thing is that it doesn't stop people watching it for free, which is great. Everyone's a winner out of it. So I did actually sort of joke. I did notice this was I had my 7th year YouTube anniversary.
Oh wow, 7 years!
About a week ago.
Congrats!
Yeah, and I kind of said thank you to everyone, but also apologised to the world in the same breath. I was like, 7 years, it's mental.
That's a very British way of doing it. I apologise for being an inconvenience.
And that's scary, isn't it, when you think that Mark's been going 7 years on YouTube. I've lost count. I think I'm probably a little bit more, but through different things. But we're very close to our 4-year anniversary as a threesome.
Yes.
It's just crazy stuff. But with that said and done, I think we've all done pretty well on our report cards. That's good. We've all got a little bit of a pat on the back, and you haven't been expelled, so that's good.
Quality.
I think we're all allowed to join 2025's cohort, or what they cohort, is it? A cohort?
Cohort.
Cohort. That's the word. So 25 goals. I am going to be more specific for 25. I'm not going to put numbers to things because I think, as Milo said and Ian's both, we've alluded to, numbers put pressure on in different ways. And I think you can look at not hitting a number as disappointment, but actually you've moved from a point back. So, and like we said, you know, Milo, you moved a big point this year. I remember us all being in Liverpool when you hit 10k. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now you look at
Liverpool all those years ago was 4, I think.
2021,
4.
Yeah, 4 all those years ago.
The point being is, like, you've still done exceptionally well, and we've all been part of that, which is lovely to be. So my goals for 25 is I am going to get on an airplane twice minimum for Pokemon GO events. So
one of them's already sorted.
Exactly. So there is the challenge there. So let's see what happens in Go Fest season. That'd be quite exciting for this year, or 2025, I should say. So get on a plane twice, minimum. It's a cop-out, carry on with the content. Yeah, well, Jesus, I mean, if we're not doing that, we won't be here to carry it on. So I think there's motivation to carry on with the content through one form or the other. But, you know, I think for me, the biggest goal, though, for 25 is to really just push us as a free more out there, and I really want to have some sort of way of proving that or showing that we've done that. Yeah, I don't know what that looks like at the moment, but I think if we do achieve it, when we look back on this, we'll know. We'll know.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're my ones. So go on, Milos.
Having learned from the errors of my ways, we won't be putting a number into 2025, although that technically is a number, but anyway. So YouTube definitely need to keep it growing and expanding, but more than just that, I would like to be able to expand the range of what I'm able to do in terms of content, not just necessarily focus it in on Pokemon Go. And I would like to be at a place where I'm not necessarily sitting on these podcasts reading an event for the news and going, oh my God, this is going to hurt in terms of YouTube and growth. Being in a situation, I'd like to get to a point where the quality of the game doesn't necessarily impact the growth of YouTube. And I think that's quite an important place to get to, certainly in 2025. And kind of more of the same of what we did with 2024. Be open to more opportunities, be it collabs or going to places, travel as much as we can do, both in the UK and abroad. As we say, there are a few bits and pieces already planned. Unova Tour LA is very much set in stone, but potentially something at the end of March is looking spicy.
It's already out in the open.
I know,
so,
we'll be
yeah,
talking about it later anyway, we might as well say. But again, continue to push myself, but in a healthy way, ignoring the 24-hour grinds. They will continue, and I will...
Yeah, that's not healthy.
That's not healthy at all. I will continue to hurt myself for the sake of content, but only on those circumstances, I would say. But Vasa, much the same? 25?
I'm looking at my 2024 goals, and I really could just say copy-paste because, yes, I would be crazy not to say I want to grow my YouTube channel because the channel grows, it gets more views, you get more ad revenue. That can only be a good thing. So I really do want to grow that. Mark said it perfectly. This podcast has to be a focus, and we really do need to maximize what this podcast brings to all of us. But from a personal point of view, I need to maximize what it does for me and help the podcast grow. And it's a given. We all know, I've talked about it constantly for 4 years. I am going to travel as much as I can do, be that local, be that doing drives up to Scotland or the South Coast, or getting on a plane. I am going to travel, and I am going to do that both locally and abroad.
Some plane trips.
Yeah, well, we've already got 2 plane trips booked.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Actually,
yes.
4. Let's be honest, the 4, because you've got to get back again.
Yeah, but there's that as well.
Yeah.
I've got 2 shipping container trips booked and a flight.
See, that's the thing. Are we going to get you to America this year, Marky? That is the big question.
Who knows?
You promised Sue, actually, I seem to remember.
I did. I do break my promises, but I did promise. You know, that I'm not going to change that about myself.
He didn't write it down in the 2025 New Year's resolution, so he's safe.
So it doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
No.
But shall we leave that as it is? Let's come back in 12 months' time and see how 2025 panned out for us all and this podcast.
I think so.
Absolutely.
We had Mark's fantastic 12 Days of Christmas quiz, and we couldn't really think of another game that would suit to fit into this show just before 2025 kicks into gear. So actually, given learning that Ian hasn't done too many pub quizzes, Vasa, we're giving you the 2025 celebratory New Year's pub quiz edition.
So welcome back to the pub quiz, 2nd week in a row, and we're at the Farmer's Dog Inn.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Sorry, we had the brand changed.
Yes, we had the brand change. Thank you, Jeremy. We've got a New Year's quiz, or I've got a New Year's quiz because Whitfield sent me a text message over Christmas saying, you're doing a New Year's quiz.
My
So I had to write one.
Elf on the Shelf.
Yes. You shouldn't talk to Father Christmas that way, but there you go. Anyway, we've got 8 questions for you, and then if we need it, or we're probably going to throw it in anyway, a tie break as well.
Smashing.
Why not?
So, boys, are you ready for... I'm not sure if this is our first ever New Year's pub quiz or our second
I think
one,
it's certainly
but...
the first one in a while, at least.
Yeah, definitely. Heads down, here we go.
Bingo.
Sounds like Billy then, didn't it? Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Question number 1. When did the New Year's ball first drop in Times Square?
Takes me
Was
back
it?
to a previous
Yeah,
episode.
we've talked about the New Year's ball in previous pub quizzes, but was it A, 1907, B, 1917, or C, 1927? And I think we're going to go to Marky first.
Ian knows that I'm drawn to 1927. So there we go. C, 1927.
And Whitfield.
That's the tricky thing is it C for correct answer, or is that just a 27 to throw you a red herring?
Who knows? We'll know in a bit.
I'm going to take a leaf out of Vass's book on this one. I'm going to go dead down the middle for B.
B from
No,
Whitfield.
that's a stupid idea. 1917 is a very unfortunate time. I'm going to go
Might
for
be
A.
an unfortunate time.
Go for A, 1907. I just
A
clicked in my
for-
brain. I was like, that's a really daft idea, Milo.
Wasn't going to say.
Why, Milo?
1917, there might have been something happening in the world.
World War One.
Yes.
Oh, Oh, maybe.
I'm not sure the New Year's ball would have been making an appearance. There might have been other things of priority.
Depends when it stopped in 1917, but that might have caused the ball to drop. Who knows?
Hey ho.
Anyway,
moving on. Question number 2. Our dearly departed is no longer with us, but in Germany, and we know somebody that Coops used to love talking about Germany on our Christmas quizzes.
We don't mention him,
I had to throw a German question in here. In Germany, what is New Year's Eve called?
Ooh.
Is it
my
A,
God.
Sebastian, B, Silas, or C, Sylvester? And Whitfield. And I have mentioned this on the show before in the past.
Oh.
But it wasn't one of the highlights that we pulled out for episode 200.
It was
so
not.
I haven't heard it. That's very tricky. I think I'm going to go for option A again.
See a pattern here developing for Milo. Marky.
And I'm going to go again for C, Stallone.
C for Marky. Sylvester
Sylvester.
Stallone.
Me and Milo can avoid B all the way along this. So
No middle road. on
Hey,
this one.
again.
Now, our beloved admin is currently over in Italy. So, in ancient Rome, the New Year was celebrated in which month?
Oh,
Was it A, March, B, February, or C, January? Marky.
So March, February, Jan, yeah?
Yes.
why has he gone backwards?
Don't know.
Maybe it's to confuse.
And then it has worked. I'm going to switch paths with young Milos, and I'm going to go for the month that's got 3 of my letters of my name in it. I'm going to go March.
March for Mark.
A for Mark. A for Mark.
And
I
Whitfield.
can't remember off the top of my head about like when certain calendars started being used and when they were changed or whatever. How long ago that was?
2012.
That's when,
when I
that's
stopped
when they
to
just
get it on
stopped
my
writing
iPhone.
numbers. They could that's far enough ahead, surely. Do you know what? I'm sorry, Marky. I'm going to break our code. I'm going to go B for February.
B for
Because it's
February.
Ian and my month.
It
That's
is.
the
It
only
is. We are
reason.
weeks apart, but
Yes.
years as well. Yes.
Many.
Only their mothers
Many
could tell them
years.
apart.
Yes.
And anybody who watches the video podcast.
Exactly. Question number 4. Which country popularised the song Auld Lang Syne? Is it A, Germany, B, Scotland, or C, France? Milos.
Can you say the song title again?
Auld Lang Syne.
See, that the way you're saying it sounds very German to me.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that until you just did.
But I don't know if that's just to throw me off, because if you said it in any accent, it could probably work. But the fact that Ian is pronouncing the final syllables very Germanic, I will pick Germany.
Oh,
It's probably going to be Scottish, isn't it?
No comment.
I mean,
If Marky picks Scotland now, I'm definitely wrong.
if I get this wrong, everyone's going to just say I'm a fraud. But I didn't pick up on Ian's pronunciation, so I'm going to pretend I didn't pick up on it, and I'm going to go B for Scotland, Ian. Sneaky Ian.
Well done, Mark.
Sneaky Ian.
Okay, question number 5. We're over the halfway mark. In the southern United States, consuming what food on New Year's Day is considered to bring prosperity? Is it A, chicken fried steak, B, black-eyed peas, or C, crawfish? You're both looking very confused, and to be fair, I had no idea until I googled the question.
Well, as far as I'm aware, the middle option is a band.
The middle option may very well be a band, yes.
I don't think they get consumed. So.
Mark's getting very close to the camera, so he's either got no idea or he's quite confident, but he looked quite confused. Mark, we'll let you go first.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ian, where is the love?
It's between the 3 of us.
Let's get this party started. Let's get this party. That's not B, Ian, for the Black Eyed Peas. I don't
B for
know
the black
why.
eyed peas.
I'm impressed by you. That was a band. I'm very impressed. You amazed me. You amazed
Still,
me.
after 4 years together, that's good. So I've not got any idea at all.
I wouldn't have done if I'd not searched for New Year's questions.
No, I can't eat option C. So
You can't,
I'm
no.
going to go for A.
Hey, chicken fried steak.
Hey, Milo. Oh,
One's
Milo,
a
you're-
band, one I'm allergic to, and one I've not heard of but sounds quite tasty.
Chicken fried steak. I mean, it's a bit of a sacrilege, but you know what? A good one tastes all right, actually.
Bet it does, Ian, to be
It's
fair.
our resident American speaks.
Yes. Anyway, we're getting there. Question number 6. The Chinese New Year is also known as what? A. The Lunar New Year. B. The Solar New Year. Or C. The Tidal New Year. Milo.
We've played enough Pokemon Go events to know.
I'm hoping you
think.
guys got this one.
Option A, please, for Lunar
A
New
for
Year.
Milos.
We'll be hearing about that event in the next couple of weeks.
The Tidal New Year event, is that Milo?
Yes.
A for Lunar, Ian. I'll be a lunatic not to pick that
Oh,
one.
nice. Sorry.
Right, we've got 2 questions to go, and we do have a clear winner.
Oh, God.
Question number 7. What is the traditional New Year's gift in Greece? Is it A, a potato? Is it B, olives? Or is it C, pomegranate? And Mark.
I'm just going Smoliv the Olive. I don't have a clue.
Olive the olive. Okay. B for Marky.
It's Greek, though. It's like feta, isn't it? Like Greek. Yeah, like, I sound like someone else then, didn't I, saying all that? The olive.
And Whitfield.
So it's a traditional.
Again, Googled this question. What is a traditional New Year's gift in Greece? A potato, olives, or a pomegranate?
So I don't think it's A.
Well, the
For
potato
sure.
kind of is a joke because we're always talking about
Yes.
90 power and things with potatoes.
Potatoes per second, as we're referred to. But
PTS.
I'm going to throw a little different answer in there, even though I
PPS.
think it might be wrong. I'll pick C for pomegranate, but I'm fairly
for
confident that's wrong.
We'll find
I
out.
like olives.
Potato. I love it.
Potato.
That'd be hilarious.
Okay, final question.
Finest Greek potato.
Which famous American event took place on January the 1st, 1863? Now, if I get this wrong, I googled the question. But is it A, the Emancipation Proclamation? Is it B, the Declaration of Independence? Or is it C, the Battle of Little Bighorn? And Whitfield.
The Battle of Little Bighorn. Sounds like a children's book.
They are all historic American events.
Oh my goodness. The first one sounds like something out of Doctor Who.
Emancipation Proclamation,
It's your shadow
Declaration of
proclamation.
Independence, or the Battle of Little Bighorn.
I'm just going to pick option C because it sounds funny.
See? Okay.
Ian, can you
American
repeat A
history.
again? Because I want to hear you say it again.
Emancipation Proclamation.
It's almost poetic.
It is. I'm going to go with Declaration of Independence. It sounds like it should be that one. I'm going to go B for that one.
American history, not my forte. At least I know I've got 1 out of 8.
You definitely got one right.
Yeah, thanks Pokemon Go.
Milo? We're having a tiebreaker, sunshine.
Even though
Tiebreaker's
I
happening
failed
regardless.
miserably, I'm expecting Marky to get at least 5 out of 8, and I'll have had probably 2 if I'm lucky.
So we do have a winner. And
Excellent.
the winner with 5
Oh.
out of 8.
Ooh.
In fact, actually, no. We'll go through the questions first, and you two can figure out who the winner is.
Mark.
Okay, so let's review the
Milo.
questions. So question number 1 was, when did the New Year's ball first drop in Times Square? Well, the answer is 1907. So
Yay.
point for
Ooh.
Whitfield. In Germany, what is New Year's Eve called? Well, the answer was Sylvester. So Mark
Oh,
balances up
Marky.
the score. In ancient Rome, the New Year was celebrated in which month? Well, it was celebrated apparently in March.
Oh.
Marks.
March.
Marks.
Yeah, March. Question 4 was, which country popularised the song Auld Lang Syne? Now, my pronunciation was purposely skewed, and Whitfield picked up on it. The answer was B for Scotland.
There you go. See, he's duped me. Yes, son of a gun.
Syne. It sounds German, doesn't it? Syne.
Oh, yes, I am Scottish, everyone.
So Mark was born in Scotland. If he didn't get that one right, he could never go back north of the border.
No.
So,
Break upon tweet.
Mark is doing very, very well. Milo has 1, Mark has 3.
Well done.
Question number 5. In the
Well
southern
done.
United States, consuming what food on New Year's Day is considered to bring prosperity? Well, if this is wrong, I googled the questions, so blame the people that put the New Year's trivia up. The answer was, yes, Milo, it's a band. The Black Eyed Peas.
Don't tell me. Seriously.
Yeah.
Where is the love, Milo? That's
Are
all
they
I'm going to say.
named? Maybe they're named after that.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, there you
Who
go.
knows?
Question number 6, you both got right because I'd have been very disappointed if you hadn't. So the Chinese New Year is also known as what? Yes, Lunar New Year. We've been
Title,
having
Milo?
Lunar New Year
Title.
events for 8 years in this game.
There you go. There's my 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you might have got another point.
Nah.
What is a traditional New Year's gift in Greece? Sorry, Mark, it's not an olive.
Oh.
It's a pomegranate.
Oh,
Oh.
really?
Yep.
Milo.
And then finally, which famous American event took place on January the 1st, 1863? Well, you both got it wrong. It was the Emancipation Proclamation,
A fancy
which
name.
means the winner is marked with 5 out of 8.
Called
Milo, valiant effort with your 3.
It's okay. Did better than I expected.
That's a
Yeah.
valiant effort, young Milo.
Effort,
to be
but
fair-
well done, Mark.
When I wrote them,
you.
I knew these were pretty tough questions because I'd not heard of a lot of this stuff.
Potato.
But,
Potato.
but I have researched a tiebreaker.
Come on then.
If it's wrong, blame Google.
We always do.
And we always do. But the
Lots of
tiebreaker
deflecting
is,
blame here.
yeah, well, we talked about the New York Times Square ball earlier and in many other years on this show.
Yes.
So I want to know how many LEDs
Oh,
are
no.
there on the New York Times Square New Year ball? And you came second, Milo, so I'll let you go first.
I will embarrass myself further. Now,
4.
yeah, at least double
Shard
digits,
windows.
surely. It's just as many LEDs as there are windows in the shard. So we know that it's only so big due to
Yes.
many, many years ago and endless ridicule on
200
the
metres, wasn't it?
episode. 247 metres or something, yeah. But LEDs can occupy a very tiny space.
Yes, light emitting diodes.
Yes.
Oh, I like that, Ian. I didn't know.
So I haven't actually laid eyes on the New York Times Square ball. So I don't know if it's all illuminated or if it's just like bits of it. I'm going to assume it's all of it. So I will just throw out 5,000 as a random number. I have no idea.
5,000 for Milo.
I could go 4,999 or go 5,001, Milo.
5,001.
But I'm not.
Take your pick.
So, Milo, I think there's a lot more LEDs
Mhm.
on the Times Square ball.
Have you seen it, Mark?
I have, yes.
There you go.
Yeah. And I'm going to go for a heftier number. I haven't got a clue how many are on it, mind you, so I'm going to say 27,000
Oh,
LED
nice.
lights are on it. But I'm probably lighter, excuse the pun, than probably the number is. But I'm going to say 27,000 light emitting diodes, or whatever Ian called them.
Well, it doesn't change the outcome of the quiz then. Because, Mark, you were close. Realistically speaking, you were close. You were only 5,256 off the actual answer.
Oh, wow.
There are
Ooh.
32,256 LEDs on the Times Square New Year ball, according to Google. I keep stressing that because that's the answer Google gave me when I searched for it.
Oh, well
wow.
done.
So, well done, Marky. A clean sweep.
Well done, Milo.
Insert broom sound effect here.
And yeah, you can have the
Is-
pub quiz back for that win. Yeah, well done.
Yes, smashing.
Just to clarify as well, because I had to just check this because I think it's relevant because we do joke about it. Milo, how many windows do you think the shard's got? Just to revisit that question, how many windows do you
At
think it's
least
got?
12. At least 12.
It's got 11, Milo, so you
11?
weren't far
Ah.
off.
you go, not
11,000,
too
that
bad.
is. But
Yeah.
anyway,
They put it into
Milo.
context where it says, but Milo, your car's got 6.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh dear. But on the back of that, good stuff, Vasa, with your Googling research
thank
and
you
coming
for
up
that,
with
Ian.
the quiz. New Year's quiz, very lovely themed and a
Let's
very,
just hope they were accurate questions.
well,
Well,
let us
Google
know.
supplied me all the
at
answers from
Incense
trivia,
Podcast. Let us know how
from
Google
trivia
did.
sheets. Yes.
But either way, Marky took a very dominant victory on that one.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Well done, Marky. Yeah.
The standard
Thank you.
pub quiz master.
Valiantly fought, Whitfield.
I think he turned up, Ian, didn't he?
He turned up, yeah. He got
turned
all right.
He has a certificate of participation.
Yeah. Just
You were
below
runner-up,
half.
Milo.
Correct.
You're a runner-up.
Yeah. I get the rosette, do I?
Yeah, probably.
Participation rosette.
Silver medal, maybe.
Well, I guess in terms of participating in things, we've talked about our own personal goals and how that's led into not only the show, but the individual bits and pieces we do for YouTube. What I want to do quickly is talk about the future and what we want from Pokemon Go, the game that plays a very big part in why we're here, the podcast, and what we do. What do we want from Pokemon Go and Niantic in 2025? And we put some pointers here as just a general discussion, really. Live events, where, community days, other things. And honestly, let's just have a little chatter about what we think, because we reflected very strongly on 2024 last week. But where do we want to go with 2025? And, well, I can kick straight off, boys, because a couple of weeks ago, they dropped the first City Safari news for 2025.
Yeah, and it wasn't just one City Safari, it was multiple.
We've got 4 all happening on the same weekend, the 29th and 30th
of March.
2025. There was Singapore. Good to see a live event going back there.
Yep, Brandon Tom will be happy it's in his home.
100%. We've then got Mumbai in India. India's
They
getting a City
deserve it.
Safari.
We said this last year that they definitely deserve an IRL.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, we won't be going to it, but they definitely deserve one.
They're deserving of it, absolutely.
Strong communities out there, that's for sure. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops. But the next one is one that I think we can say with 99% certainty. We're going to be there. Milan, Italy.
I think we're saying with 100%. We've already booked flights.
Yeah.
In between various bits and pieces, Ian has actually booked flights, yes. Milan was something we heard rumours about. What was it, early 24?
We heard about that, it was like June, July time.
I think it was actually off the back
Actually,
of
no,
LA.
it was earlier than that. It was right at the beginning of the year we heard about in Milan, and nothing ever happened.
Yeah, nothing ever happened, even though there was a press release about it.
Yeah.
But City Safari Milan is officially confirmed. And the final one, which I think is actually really nice to see another South American event, is Santiago in Chile.
Yes, they, again, all very deserving locations. They really are.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have loved to have gone to Chile, but it's honestly, it's too far to go for a City Safari, in my opinion.
Absolutely, Ian. Agree. I'm pleased that you went a bit off on that, Milo, because on the first point you put live events, I just put yes. So,
Tim, we want some.
yes, please.
And yeah, I mean, without getting too much into it, we'll talk about it a little bit closer to time, but new City Safari Pokemon being released, new shiny. Come on, Whitfield, tell us about it.
Mudbray. I haven't got anything else apart from the fact there's a ground type, and it's a donkey.
Yeah.
It's a donkey. So we've had the switch out from Skidoo.
Actually, that's good because it's Christmas when we're recording this.
Yeah.
Dominic the donkey, the Italian Christmas donkey.
It was a common Caldeo, isn't it? Isn't it that donkey?
That's
Is
the
that what they call-
non-mythical version.
The non-mythical.
And Mudbray's a nice Pokemon. That
Yeah.
I know it's going to be exclusive to these City Safaris, but hopefully we'll be able to get a boatload for any of you that want them.
Well,
and
we'll be
Like I
getting
did with Skidoo.
Skidoo, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But we will get catch cards and things like that because off the back of 2024's City Safaris, they had a nice big upgrade. So 2025 should definitely have a bit
And
extra
hopefully,
in there.
while we're in Italy, hopefully we get a ragu.
Thank you, Aperol Spritz.
Ragu.
A
Do
ragu.
you know what, though? I mean, this is great, isn't it? Nice time of the year, March. Italy's warming up a bit, getting into that sort of spring, very early spring time of the year. And for us, fortuitously, not too far to travel, a new city, certainly for myself.
I've
explore.
never, ever in my
Same.
life been to Italy. So for me,
Oh, this will be your first proper
my
trip
first
to
time
Italy.
to Italy.
Damn.
Dang.
Crazy. No, Italy's a beautiful place. And I will say, I've been there quite a few times in the last 2-3 years. Something about the way that Italy and its towns are set up, they are insane for Pokemon Go. So big cities, when I played in Rome in 2023, just the amount of Pokemon and Pokestops in dense spaces and gyms, it's just crazy. So with an extra City Safari boost, with the City Safari Explorer EV stops and God knows what, boys, you're in for a treat. It's going to be incredible.
I
am
think
sure.
so. walking tour of the city, then a ho-ho. It sounds like the perfect way to actually do one of these events. And
Yeah.
It is a crazy. It is a
Crazy.
crazy.
Just crazy.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm more
amazing.
excited about the food, like the spaghetti
Same.
bolognese,
Oh, bro,
the
the Italian
pasta,
food.
the pizzas,
Oh, a bit of ice cream, gelato. Oh,
gelato.
Honestly,
Yeah,
it's going to be so good. It'll be so
and
good.
Starbucks.
So, wow.
Yeah, no, I'll
careful.
probably
know
get
what?
assassinated. if
I'm
I go
gonna
to
say
Starbucks
crime
in
in Italy.
No, but I am going to say, Milo, and you weren't there, unfortunately, but the best Starbucks I've had today was in Madrid. It was just, it was so good.
Was that the Taylor Swift Starbucks that we went into?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you remember the one we
yeah.
met on the day here when we had the nice cake and the nice...
Yeah. We went into that Starbucks every day, and every day, all they did was have Taylor Swift on repeat while I was in there.
Ian was
Some
in his
people might have thought it
element.
was torture, but I thought it was bliss.
It was bliss. Blissy.
Just a man screaming in the corner.
That was Francesco.
Not again.
But no, I mean, guys, brilliant, fantastic. You know, this is
Yeah.
going to be, and not a long time to wait either. So,
Indeed.
Well, we say it's not a long time to wait. This is actually after Unova Tour.
Yeah,
so
we've
we're
got
saying
Unova
it's
Tour
close,
coming
but
up.
we've got another massive event, which we're talking about live events. We've got Unova Tour LA in Pasadena. Of course, there is a second Unova Tour over in APAC, but we're going to be in LA. And then there's Global the weekend after.
Absolutely.
you've also put on here where as well, Milo. Where would
Where?
you like, if you could have thought somewhere different then to what we've got then? Is there-
Ooh, it's a very good point, really, because thinking about it now, GoFest wise, let's put the events set in stone to one side. Where do we want to go that is kind of up in the air? GoFest season. There are lots of European countries, of course. We've had Madrid for 2024 and we had London for 2023. And prior to that, it was Germany all the way.
Berlin, yeah. 22,
Berlin and then Dortmund. Obviously, we have fond memories of that. But I would like to see perhaps maybe France or perhaps even the Netherlands, one of those countries, get
Can you imagine
a
that GoFest in Amsterdam?
GoFest Amsterdam would be fun. That's for damn sure.
Well, GoFest Paris would be a great one as well, let's be honest.
Imagine GoFest in Amsterdam and the featured Pokemon Swaddle was one of like the wild
Oh,
spells.
it would have to be Swaddle in Amsterdam,
It
wouldn't
would
it?
have to be Swaddle in Amsterdam, wouldn't it? Oh, it would be
100%.
great.
But there are lots of European countries, certainly, that do deserve some kind of live event. Not just necessarily because of how easy they are to get to or whatever, but probably the nature of the communities there and the way that you can play in some of these European countries is crazy. We've already talked about Italy, so I wouldn't mind seeing something in a city in Poland. There are some crazy, beautiful places to go and play in there, but I think there might be, hopefully, a few more city safaris, perhaps tail end of the year, like there were for this year, 2024. Shame Europe didn't get a look in. I would like to see Europe get a bit more in terms of event focus.
We deserve another event, but
Yeah.
we can't complain because we've got Milan coming up. But I totally agree with you that France would be an amazing call, and Netherlands. My heart always goes out to America, and I do feel that there's really strong rumors that New York is a 3-year deal. I honestly hope that we don't have another GoFest in New York,
Yeah.
but I would like to see something in the southern states of America. I know it will be really hot, but then again, so is New York in July.
New York's
But
toasty.
I would love to
Jeez.
see something in the South in May. And I said this last year, maybe somewhere like Louisiana, maybe like New Orleans or in Texas. They would be great locations. Or Miami. But again, you've got the sea breeze in Miami.
Minnesota, maybe?
No.
No. Ian, no.
Actually, I'll say yes if you would actually go to it.
I would come if it was in Minnesota.
We
'cause I
might
would
be there in a
tick-
heartbeat.
I tick so many things off and do it in one go. I've got some notable mentions for European
Come on,
destinations.
then. Let's hear them.
So aside of Paris, which I think makes sense in many ways, I've put maybe in Stockholm. You know, a Swedish one.
Sweden would be interesting.
Which would be but it's very expensive, and I think accommodation's very difficult to accommodate. And certainly with all the parks there is in Stockholm, the Swedes are a little bit more particular about these public areas and how they're used. So I don't think that would happen. And again, it's the cost to get there. They do factor that in.
Yeah.
Notable mentions: Copenhagen, same challenges as Stockholm, and Milton Keynes. I wrote down. So
No, Willow Lake could never host one.
no, but no, I think Paris. If I was going to like really home it, but then again, it's been 3 years since Germany had one.
True.
Since Berlin in 22, and the areas do lend to these events. You know, and certainly Dortmund and Berlin have proven that. I like the idea of fresh destinations, new destinations. There's a lot of countries you could probably rule out because of their geographic location and their cost. But I think the Central European band of countries is probably a sensible option there. And maybe Holland, like you said, Rotterdam's a nice city. Maybe somewhere like
Holland, Belgium, France, they're all prime.
Yeah, we'll stay with Kevin if it's in Belgium, so that'd be nice. So, get your sofa beds ready, Kev. We're coming to Bruges. But yeah, that'd be nice. Or Antwerp.
Either or will do nicely. But we obviously love live events and we rave about them constantly. Wherever we go there, record live shows, it would give us so many awesome opportunities. But let's maybe talk about something that we think we'd like to see improved in 2025 with not maybe just Pokemon Go, but Niantic. And I know it was mentioned perhaps on episode 200. Some of these things we may talk about, but something that's hit home very recently with the lot of December's events, and it's been a trait that I don't like.
I think we all know where you're going, and I totally agree.
How much focus there are on things being released in raids and eggs. It's getting very wearisome, and I really hope that 2025 starts to bring new content into a more accessible way of playing. Because in the event that's just gone by, the winter holidays, in the space of under 2 weeks, there were 2 new raid lock Pokemon, and people were immediately like, "Oh God, really not again?" Goes back to Wild Area with everything that's new and good being locked behind the paid functions of the game. There's so much that could be done with research, wild spawns. Incense, give us, our podcast, a reason to breathe. There's so many things that could be done that make it a pleasurable event to play. I think that's a key factor, is the more you put focus on the paid aspects of the game, it's going to drive people away. And I don't want to see that happen in 2025.
I agree. We want to see the game grow and prosper. And again, we talked on 200 about many things that Niantic could potentially do. And I think really for me, they need to keep things fresh and not revisit the same locations for live events. Now, I know I'm going back to live events. We've kind of moved on from that, but that is where this game lives and breathes, and that is what the memories are made for a lot of people. And as much as we all love going back to the same locations, I mean, we had Chicago 3 times, we've had New York twice, we had Dortmund twice. I just want them to see new places for live events. And I think we're starting to see that with the city safaris and hopefully with the announcement of 2025's Go Fests.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you both have said there. I don't mind games being pay to play. I'm not against that. I think if you can play it free to play and you're content with that, that's happy days. But I think, events that have a little bit more to it, I don't mind buying for a ticket, a ticket for an event. Doesn't seem that bad. You make the choice. But I think the events have just become very weighted to having to do it on every facet to make it accessible.
Every event now has a ticket.
Yeah, and
or sometimes more than one ticket.
Well, that's what I said earlier. We joked about it, didn't we? But we've had next year we might have we have a third ticket come out for the same event, and you're like, oh my Jesus Christ! My fear for the game is also whether there's an opportunity there. We will never know the data, and we're not here to talk about the data. But I'd imagine that there's a change in the way they're applying these event structures because something's driving them to do that. And it feels like it's playing on loyalty. I still think a big part of it's down to FOMO with players that are rewired into this game. Addressing that would be a positive start, but I do go back to the point we discussed in episode 200. Be brave. Rehash what a community day actually is now. Change it. Maybe make them, you have to check into a community ambassador to play the community day. Throw something like that into it. Make people travel to play the game. Build these communities up and give the warmth for people to do it in their area. I'm just throwing it out there as an idea. I think they've been awful. 24's been awful.
Yeah, it was very, very obvious when we saw the December community day replay that it was a bad year for com days.
That's an understatement.
Because if you think about it, we would travel to do community days anyway.
We would, but I think making the average player travel to do a community day is probably asking a little bit too much.
I agree with you, by the way, but I thought
ideas are ideas.
Ideas are ideas. So like you said, I think they want to probably do a third ticket for an event before they think about doing that. So
very likely. Actually, in that case, quickly before we move on to potentially some January Community Day news, Community Days for 2025. We know what one is. Give one Pokemon that you wouldn't mind seeing a Community Day for, Marky.
For the whole of next year,
For the whole of next
25,
year.
Gothita.
There we go. Gothita Conde.
Gothita.
What about you, Ian?
Mine's easy, and I think I said this last year, actually. Clink.
Clink,
Yeah.
I think that's overdue by a long, long way. I was surprised we didn't get that in 24,
I
to be honest.
genuinely thought we'd get it this year, but October,
Very
November,
surprised.
but it didn't happen.
Yeah,
Definitely.
shiny clink clank. Yeah.
Clank. Shiny clank.
Whitfield?
And one that I would like to see, and one that was on a video teaser for Bound Sweet, I would like to see Picky Peck Community Day
yeah.
get its time, because I think Picky Peck's been around for so many years now, and then it was teased on the video, and then it wasn't that, it was Bound Sweet. And
Well, it wasn't teased, but it was featured on
well,
the
it was
video.
featured because of the pairing between the two of them. But I honestly thought we'd get Picky Peck in
Like, people
23.
were, we're going to
then
get a dual
24.
community day. No, we're not.
No. But I think it's overdue. And there's one caveat with all of this, and I'm sure that Marky, given his Kanto rant all those weeks ago, and Ian's probably in the same boat as this, I would love it, absolutely love it, if we could get away with 2025 having no Kanto com days apart from classics.
Yeah, classics.
That's a tall order.
I would
know.
see that as a win.
Yeah, but I really don't think it's going to happen. I have a horrible suspicion we'll see Kanto plenty of times.
I have an awful gut feeling you're not wrong.
Yes.
We've listened, we've rebranded it. They're called Kanto Community Days. No!
Community Day Kanto. 12 months of Kanto.
Here's Bulbasaur with a beard.
Ooh, wouldn't mind that costume.
I'll play that,
Funny.
actually. I'm joking.
4 different beards to collect.
Do you know what I wouldn't mind? And I know there's they like to keep the rarity on certain things. And do you know what? I kind of get that. I'm quite comfortable with that. Like we talked about earlier, Skidoo's departing
Yeah.
from City Safaris. I'd be disappointed if we now threw Skidoo into the game. I think it'd be nice to leave that as it is. But I'd love to see a Pikachu Outbreak Community Day.
That could be fun.
That'd
All
be
the different
amazing.
Pikas, that'd be interesting.
That'd be crazy.
But there's
though,
so many
all
different
costume.
Pikachu styles. That would. Can you imagine
the
if you just
game.
got all of the shinies of the ones you didn't want?
Oh, God, imagine that, Ian. Oh, wait, one with a Santa hat. Woohoo!
Oh, no. Oh, no. But I think that's quite a nice way to round out the Pokemon Go chat.
I think so.
Yeah.
Shall we jump into some flesh?
It is, it's the news.
Yes, news. It's me again, just like last week. That definitely wasn't
Hello,
recorded
Ian.
earlier tonight. Anywho, it's very timely. The New Year's event 2025. This event will run from Monday, December the 30th, 2024, at 10 a.m. your local time, right through to Wednesday, January the 1st, New Year's Day, at 8 p.m. local time. Your bonuses for this event? Well, you get 2025 XP for catching Pokemon with excellent throws.
That's basically double catch XP for excellent throws.
And change, yeah.
And a little bit extra. Now, I was going to say, that's a very short event window. Barely any time to play it, but perhaps you'll find out why very soon, because the Wild Encounters, you will be able to find Jigglypuff wearing a ribbon.
You'll be able to find Hoot Hoot wearing a New Year's outfit.
Yeah, it's back. Wormpool wearing a party hat.
And that's it.
That is it.
That's 3 wild spots.
But do you know what?
What?
There's a little
What?
asterisk there, boys.
Oh, what's that, Ian?
If you're lucky,
You
you might encounter a shiny one.
Milo.
I'm not wrong, am I?
You're not wrong, no,
No,
let's
not
be
wrong.
honest, no.
But that's not very many Pokemon featured.
One for
Marky,
each day.
what are your favourite eggs going to hold?
Yeah, this is rock and roll. This is because, the 1-star raid. It's my favourite raid. Do not get rid of these in 25,
Did you
please.
say eggs?
No, oh,
Raid
I said
eggs.
Raid eggs.
Raid eggs, oh, okay.
Raid eggs. The 1-star raid eggs. And if you do take part in these, there is an increased chance to
Look at
encounter
the
a
name
shiny
of
one.
what he's wearing.
I know.
Oh, it's your
I know.
favourite costume, Ian.
No, Ian. Yeah, so this one's quite relevant, I think. It's certainly a more modern
Certainly in
outfit.
2025, yeah.
It's a 2025 outfit because you've got Pikachu wearing a snowflake beanie. Oh, dear.
Oh, well.
Pikachu.
You want to know what? The 3-star raids do not get any better. In the 3-star raids, you have 2 Pokemon. This is a sparse event. Raticate wearing a party hat and Wobbuffet also wearing a party hat. The 3-star raids, as with the 1-star raid, potentially you could, if you're lucky, encounter a shiny.
Now, there is going to be field research task rewards. Yes, they haven't forgotten about Pokestops, but we don't know what's going to be in those at all.
I think I've figured it out, boys. I think they don't tell us what's in the field research task rewards, so they can't get it wrong.
Good point.
That's a fair point.
They also don't tell us about the timed research. That's some free stuff. They just say complete tasks to earn Stardust and encounters with event-themed Pokemon. So what you get, you don't know. However, the paid timed research for $2, or the equivalent in your local currency, you're going to be able to get 3 premium battle passes, 3 lucky eggs, 2,025 Stardust, and encounters with the following Pokemon, including Pikachu wearing the snowflake beanie, Raticate wearing the party hat, and Wobbuffet wearing the party hat, and more.
Now that, for $2, is actually good value.
Yeah.
That is actually good value for $2.
It works.
There we go. Something that works. That makes a change. Anyway.
Well, we don't know if it works yet or not, but
That's a
we
fair
hope it
point,
does.
We'll find out tomorrow.
However, this is cryptic because it says here, be on the lookout for showcase. Yeah, okay, right, at different Pokestops. Right, Pokestop showcases will be appearing at the same Pokestops from the previous event and any other event after this one. So don't
Niantic,
worry.
prove us wrong.
Yeah, prove us wrong.
2025.
And you'll be able to enter probably snowflake-themed Pokemon, but event-themed Pokemon. Also, Crogonal or a new generation. The Pokemon Go web store has an Ultra Holiday box in it. Don't miss your last chance to purchase it.
Oh, it's the same one we talked about last week.
Oh, it is. They're pushing the boat here. So for $4.99 or equivalent in your local currency, you can make a decision if you want to buy it, if you've got opportunity to, if you haven't maxed out your Pokemon storage upgrade. But it does come with one of those, one item bag upgrade. And yes, you've got this right. Not 1, not 7, but 17 rare candies. Whoa. Calm yourself down.
I still don't think $5 is worth it.
Nope.
Oh dear.
Definitely not. Very much an oh dear. Triple oh dear on that one. Quickly, boys.
Dear.
What do you think? New Year's 2025. Avasa.
I think I'd rather suffer a 3-day hangover.
I'm right there with you. Marky, you joining us?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I do sort of have an opinion on is how they put events on during times where people are probably busy doing things.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're going to put events like this on during those times, then crack on with it. I don't feel like I'm missing anything here. So thank you, Niantic, you've listened.
In a way, I kind of see and agree with what you're saying, because Christmas and New Year's is family time and celebration time. Typically, the New Year's event has been chock full with loads of costume stuff, starters, Pikachu wearing the fancy purple hat and God knows what. And there's always been something new. This is the first year it's actually dead.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's like, relax. And it's interesting how it only goes to the end of the January 1st. Usually it cracks on for like 4 days into the year.
Yeah, I kind of think there's a reason for that. And, well, news has dropped, well, it was last week, in fact. But January 2025's Community Day was announced, wasn't it, boys? And it's the Italians' Bay.
Yes. Oh, yes. People, dear listeners, we talked about what we would like to see for Community Days, but it looks like the Gen 9 starters are getting their feature for 2025, and January the 5th. We'll be bringing in Sprigatito, the Generation 9 Cat Grass starter. That'll be the first one to kick it off. And January the 5th, from 2 to 5 p.m. your local time, it will be featured, it will be boosted in the wild, and you'll be getting, as is common with these starter community days, 2 featured attacks. Of course, grass-type starter, you would be going nowhere without Frenzy Plant, but Flower Trick, which is Meowscarada's exclusive move, I believe, that's being unlocked from the Community Day starting onwards for the future. It's a charged attack. There's some damage involved with it, but we won't go into those numbers.
Well, there is, and that leads us into the Community Day special research. Now, they've sneakily put the price up on this. It's $2 for the Community Day special research.
Ooh, I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. This is a bit sneaky Niantic. But for $2, you'll be able to get the Sprigatito Community Day exclusive special research. You'll get the following rewards: a premium battle pass, a rare Candy XL, 3 encounters with Spriggy that have dual Destiny themed special backgrounds. So it's more expensive, but different rewards to what you would normally get.
But that's really weird, because isn't that less than what we got for $1? Usually we get a rocket radar and more rare candy, and you get 3 encounters with the Pokemon plus its evolutions.
Yeah, it doesn't mention the evolutions, but it does say you'll get even more rewards.
It does say that's like including these.
Yeah, so maybe
hopefully we
these
do
are
get
on
more.
top of what you would already be getting. I don't know.
I hope it's more.
We'll find out next week.
So yes, with Community Day, we also have event bonuses. 3 times Stardust for catching Pokemon, so it's a Stardust
Also,
themed one,
Stardust Come Day.
which is a
Lovely.
bonus. And also 2 times Candy for catching Pokemon, so it's 3 times Stardust and 2 times Candy. That's double. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's good.
There's a 2 times chance for trainers level 31 and up to receive Candy XL from catching Pokemon. Lure modules activated during the event will last for the 3 hours. Incense, excluding the daily adventure incense, activated during the event will last for 3 hours. Take a few snapshots. That's 5.
Are we sure it's 5?
Don't know. Might be 3. Might be 4. It'll be 5, won't it?
It'll be
Let's
5.
be honest.
Yeah.
It's always 5.
So, and I always forget to do 4 of them. During Community Day for a surprise, there'll be 1 additional special trade that can be made for a maximum of 2 for the day. And trades will require 50% less Stardust.
Lovely.
Sneaky Niantic. Have you noticed how they've put all of the paid options all right above what the event is?
Yeah, they have.
Like the bonuses are normally right at the top of the article that tells us what you can get in the event, and they're pretty much at the bottom now.
Yeah, usually the event bonuses are like the second thing apart from the Pokemon on the article. The event ticket's always like been right down below where, you have the, hey, meet your local community here. True. They
Before
want your
we
$2.
finish with this,
Sneaky.
because I think we're all excited about Spriggy, but stickers, boys.
Yes.
Oh, don't.
Spriggy
Don't.
stickers.
Don't.
They're very adorable.
They are.
That's for sure. Hey, January the 5th, first Sunday of January, the 2025 events, and we've got Sprigatito. Bam.
Bam.
Straight in there.
That's a good start for 25.
Definitely.
It's
We
only
didn't see
the-
that one coming, did we, boys? That's
We didn't
throws us
know. I
around.
genuinely thought they'd stick with Gala and would actually get the Gen 8 starters before we moved to Gen 9. but-
Chronological order.
Yeah.
Just 11 more surprises like this for 25, please.
Well,
Yeah.
10, isn't it? Because there's only 11 community days, really.
What, unless they do something magical in December, but you're
You
right.
never know, yeah.
10 more.
Change up. Let's see if they pay attention to this show and listen to our suggestions. Quickly before we finish the news, this is just a bit of good news.
What?
What?
Sorry, Marky, but January the 11th is going to bring in, finally, Dwayne, you're going to be very happy, Mega Gallade Raid Day.
What did you say? Mega Psyduck then for a minute?
Mega Psyduck.
Mega Psyduck.
Without a costume.
A costume.
But we're not going to dive into the event details just yet because it's a little way ahead, but that has been officially announced as, I think, the first raid day of 2025.
Well, it has, and that's just how nonsensical things are. This has been announced like right at the end of the year,
Yeah.
whereas we're getting event information like the last minute for others. Like, there's no consistency.
I know,
Improve.
but I've heard a rumor that the Counter Brothers want to talk about that in a bit more detail.
Oh, is that
in
what it
the
is? Is that
future.
why? Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Later show when we get back into
Probably.
the swing of it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, there we go. That is January Community Day announced. And like the boys have said, a lot of time to plan for that one. We'll obviously be hoping, unless we get snowed in, to try and do something for that. We will announce
Freak
details
weather.
of that closer to the time. But
Yes.
2025 then. So a new year. We've talked about our goals. We've talked about what we felt that we've achieved off the back of our individual goals. And then we sort of merged it into collective goals as well, which is probably as important, if not more, for the podcast, this platform we listen to us on. But 2025 then. So I've got a little section here. I want to talk about what do we want to do for the Incense podcast in 25. So I know. A bit like we did with the Pokemon Go sort of topic there, discussing a bit. I've got a few little headers here. I'll start with an obvious one. Just travel again as much as we can, I think, for 25. We've done all right for 24, really, if we're being honest. I mean, I could have probably travelled to a couple more things and been right up there, but I think collectively we've done some pretty good events. Like we've been to Coventry and survived that.
We survived Coventry, we survived Oxford,
Grantham,
and the one-way system, yeah.
The Stonehenge, we survived that.
True.
We did, yes, yeah.
I think we also survived Coventry. Yeah.
It's stuck in his head because it's so awful.
Yes,
definitely.
It was his favourite com day. You see him
very
beaming when
right.
he thinks about it.
As a trio, like between us, because I know there's been a lot of events where it may just be two of us, i.e. the Go Fest, etc. But collectively, we have been to a lot of places, a lot of different places, and a lot of travel. We've met a lot of people.
I think we need to continue that in 25.
I think all three of us would agree and say we need to do the same for 2025.
We do. And you know what? If somebody made you fill in a questionnaire and asked you what event you want to go to in 2025, certainly from a podcast perspective, I think between the three of us, we'd want to do... We've already talked about the City Safari and Unova Tour. We definitely want to do multiple Go Fests, be that Europe, APAC, or potentially America. Who knows what other events will be thrown into the mix? If there's a Safari Zone announced that we can get to, I'm pretty sure we'd love to go to one of those too.
I think so, absolutely. Travel, revisit Milton Keynes as well.
Yeah. I mean, UK-wise, we've already talked about it between the three of us. We have been, and I don't use this word lightly, pretty much begged down to the South Coast from various people.
Yes.
So in 2025, we have got to find someone on the South Coast. Probably Bournemouth, let's be honest.
I think so.
Yeah.
But we've definitely got to get to the South Coast. And I'm putting this one out there. We talked about this and we've never done anything with it. I would love to do an event or a community day where we border Scotland. So starting in Berwick and then maybe move over the border into Scotland.
2 countries in one day.
2 countries in one day would be quite fun to try and do, that's for sure. And I think it'd be nice to structure that as like a weekend thing, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to shuffle it away from the travel or the events or anything, but a tangent of that. We've always done live shows as a part of a major event, be it the tour or the Go Fests or the City Safari, actually way back in 23 for Barcelona. Hope Milan we can recreate that kind of magic.
Oh, it's going to happen. We've got to record.
Pizza in front of us with the podcast recording equipment.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be really fun if we could do a com day on the Berwick upon Tweed over to Scotland and then record a podcast in a Scottish pub.
Oh, yeah.
On the
with
Sunday.
a deep fried Mars bar.
Yeah, deep fried Mars bar or whatever.
Bit of haggis.
Deep fried spag bol. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, spaghetti McBolognese is what you're thinking of. Isn't
You
it?
know what I'm talking about, Whitfield.
The Grand Tour episode, definitely. But that sort of thing, because it would just be so unique and so cool to do. Like, we haven't sat down just the three of us in a random kind of location that hasn't had some event Pokemon Go tie-in.
Definitely need to make that happen. We
That could be
literally put that on the whiteboard. We definitely need to make that happen.
It would be really, really fun to try and make that work in 25.
And you know what? Just imagine doing an event on the Piloting Extremely Nicely in Scotland 287.
Well, now Ian's developing a road trip.
It is.
Well, we did promise cricket like years ago.
I've done it. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. You're about the other route, aren't you, Ian?
I'm talking about...
He's about the piloting extremely nicely in Scotland.
Yeah, I'm not talking
that
about
one.
North Coast. I'm talking Piloting Extremely Nicely in Scotland.
So the 287.
Yeah.
So it's not quite 500.
No, but it's got an acronym of something else, hasn't it?
Definitely.
Well, that's why I said Piloting
I
Extremely
know, Ian. I
Nicely
know
in Scotland.
exactly.
Mark knows.
I know. I know.
He really does. But I think all of us would like to try and do more community days together, be it in various different cities across the UK. We talked about South Coast. I would personally like to go back to West Country as well.
What, a Bristol Com Day?
I don't think a Bristol Com Day is a bad idea.
I don't think it's actually that
Bristol's
bad
good.
an idea.
No, I've done them before. Bristol's good for com days.
It'll be
Yeah, I mean,
really
it's a
fun.
good old drive for me, but you know what? To go to Milo's hometown, it would be quite nice.
Yeah.
I could take you around my old stomping ground.
Maybe you'll stop talking all like
We'll
Bristolian.
go all West Country, start talking like a farmer.
I mean, I think we shouldn't rule anything out. Like
Yeah.
I've said before, you know, we haven't done a com day in the southwest properly. We've done other events down there, so that'd be quite fun actually to do something like that. Like I said, I don't push events unless we're all comfortable with it because geographically, for me, Bournemouth's a dream. I could do it every flipping com day if I wanted to. It's only an hour down the road, so
Yeah, it's 5 for me, but we could
I
make it
know.
work. Well, 4.5.
exactly. But yeah, Brizzle for Milo. Yeah, it'd be good to see. I bet Milo will come out into his normal selfie. Do you know what? We've not seen it properly. The
I know,
Brizzle
it'll
Milo.
be Pogo Gerald UK.
Yeah.
I've been far enough away from Bristol for long enough that I won't regress.
Yeah, you'll see Wallace and Gromit. You'll go all excited again. Oh, Aardvark
it's actually
Studios.
random news. Did you see that Aardman
Aardman,
Studios have
yeah.
collabed with Pokemon Go? Well, not
Yeah.
Pokemon Go, sorry, just Pokemon.
It's
They're doing
Pokemon,
something
yeah.
for 2027. That's kind of wild, the stop motion.
Get in there, Milo. Get in there.
Yeah. But let's move it potentially towards, us three and what we would potentially want to do excess-wise with this podcast. There's some ideas I've certainly had. We floated around for live events about potentially being more involved and integrated with fans and followers and people at these events, certainly with maybe challenges that we can put on the podcast, that sort of thing.
Challenges would be good. We did talk about the quick catch challenge ages ago, which was kind of stolen from us.
Potentially, yes, by none other than Pokemon Go themselves. But
Yes, exactly.
They're watching. They're listening.
We know they're
Always.
watching, we know they're listening, but I think for the three of us, it's getting the word out about Incense because we all know that podcasting is a niche. A lot of people listen to podcasts, but it's a niche. And a lot of Pokemon Go traders don't even realize there are podcasts about their favorite game. Finding some way to get the word out to people that don't necessarily know about podcasts, that is potentially a good avenue for us. And being at these events is a good way to actually do that.
I agree.
So one thing that we've tried to do every year is bring on a handful of guests. And that's been in varying numbers throughout the years. And 2024 we didn't have that many guests on, but who would we like to get on the show in a perfect world? Let's talk dream list for 25. And it could be returnees or it could be new people.
Well, we'll leave it as a little bit of a surprise for the listeners, but we might have something lined up in January.
just maybe.
Yeah, just maybe. But that's a great question, guys. And I think, we've been very fortunate to have people want to come and take time out of their lives to chat with us. I sound like a broken record. Get Brandon on here. We want Mystic 7 on the show.
And believe me, we're trying, listeners.
Yeah.
No, we are. And I know he'll be listening to the show. So,
Always.
Brandon, we want you on. And we'll talk about TCG with you. And we'll make it very, very much just listen. I think for us this year has been fantastic. Not having as many
Definitely.
guests on has probably been helpful for us. It's allowed us to try new things and that, which is brilliant. But I think for me, and this is me just talking, I think when we look at guests, it's maybe doing something a bit different with them this next year. Like we've done it in the past, we've got them on, we've followed a format, which is fine. We need a format, I need a substructure sort of thing. But maybe with these avenues of getting to know people a little bit more, a layer beneath the game or a layer away from the game, I think could be quite interesting.
Yeah, good call.
And not necessarily people that create content in the game, but people around others that do. Maybe we all want to always keep getting guests on. It was fun for and we don't regret what we've done with that. But I think now we've realised actually that we haven't had to do that.
I sort of agree with that in a way that listening back to this year's episodes, it's always lovely to have a guest on for the first time to really get to know them and explore why they got potentially into the content they do and the game and kind of have a really good vibe with them. But in the same token, I really like how, particularly this year, the live event shows have been heavily featuring other creators and guests and listeners and followers for games and our own admins. So in a way, I kind of like keeping them more for those big events because you're really in a hub of why we do this. The game and everything is such a big time of year for that. Returning guest wise, there's so many names we could pluck out of the hat that we haven't had on for so long. I mean, Landor Alpha immediately comes to mind. I think he was right at the beginning of 2023, for goodness sake.
I think you're right, actually. Yeah.
So long ago. Plenty of other names. Grace, I mean, even in the podcast space, we've got GoCast and Lured Up. We haven't collabed with them for so long. I mean, Lured Up was right at the beginning of our
journey. Was within the first sort of 2 or 3 months of us doing the podcast.
Yeah, and I think it'd be very interesting in 2025 to try to look to do a proper podcast collaborative show, not just on our platform, but theirs as well. Really build the podcast space and connection, because it's been missing, I think. So that's kind of where I think we could go with it. It'd be interesting.
Totally agree. And I agree with everything that you've both said. For me, in terms of guests, yes, we can reel off pretty much every guest that's been on the show. We're now in a position where a lot of these people, we could just call them up and say, do you want to come on? And they're there. And that's why it works so well for live events, because we actually kind of know these people to a certain degree now after all these years. There are creators that would be nice to get on the show, and I'm not going to drop names as such, but people that maybe touch Pokemon Go, but other aspects of Pokemon itself, be that TCG, main series. There are avenues where we can go where, okay, somebody might do an occasional vlog for Pokemon Go, but their main source of content would be something along a different avenue of the Pokemon genre. And I think that gives us a lot more possibility. And again, that potentially could bring new ears to the show.
100%.
The big thing with podcasting is if people can work with the voices that they're listening to. I think the subject matter sometimes actually is very irrelevant for a podcast to succeed. So what I mean by that is how many times you see an audio book that you go, actually, I want to listen to that. And if the voice isn't quite right for it, you probably put it down and stop listening to it. And
it doesn't fit. Yeah.
It doesn't fit, absolutely. And I do think that when I listen to the same, I discover new podcasts as well, but I found that the podcasts I've stuck with, I feel like I know them from the voices, and it's a nice familiar feel. And people don't like the British accent, we're screwed, boys, but we like to think. Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities on there, and ears is what it's all about. It's just having ears listening to us, and hopefully they'll like what they hear. That's the success of a podcast, isn't it?
Definitely.
At the end of the day,
totally.
That's what we can hope for.
Yeah,
really. Actually, feeding off of that whole point, Marky, I think we mentioned it on episode 200. It would be very interesting to try maybe 1 or 2 episodes to shift the focus of what we do and make it a more general chatter kind of podcast, maybe not focus on Pokemon Go as much, or if at all, because we're off camera, off audio, always joking and talking about various bits and pieces going on. We joke about the trips that we do and that sort of thing. There's plenty of scope for us to go down, and if people enjoy listening to us and the way that we interact, Pokemon Go doesn't necessarily have to be the solo focus of it.
That's a very good point, actually. I think that's definitely something that we could try and see.
I like the idea. I mean, this is sort of goes back to a little bit like we talked about being pigeonholed as a topic. You kind of limited them, but actually what you do with your guests and what you do off the back of that can actually diversify it very slightly. Joe Rogan, isn't it? His podcast.
Yes.
Like the thing I love about his show is he's not pigeonholed for anything. He can bring anyone on. His show just goes in any direction because of that, and we can still do that as 3 of us. Doesn't necessarily have to have guests on. I think that is something that I really, really am aware of. We can always move, and not for the sake of moving's sake. As we become more confident in what we're doing, and as we explore things more, I think that as we're doing, as we've said already, having this conversation off the back of some ideas we've floated around before, haven't we? So
yeah.
We don't want to just become repetitive, do we? I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, need to keep it fresh. We tried doing that actually this year, didn't we? With mixing up the show order and everything,
we did.
And really throwing some spanners into the works.
And 200, I mean, that one pretty much broke the formula.
Definitely.
But speaking of breaking the formula, that tinsel's now fell off.
It's been replaced by firecrackers.
Cat in wheels.
You two are absolutely crazy, and I love you for it. Well, yeah, we had a poll up, and it wasn't one that we actually sort of broadcast at the beginning of the show. It was more one that we've posted as we've been recording. I'm sure we'd have probably all come up with these answers ourselves, but we put a poll out saying, quite simply, how will you be seeing in the new year? With a little inquisitive-looking emoji face at the end of the question. Before we read the answers out, we've got a few comments from our listeners. Mike Griffin has put, staying like I have for 99% of the last 30 years, with a little sad emoji at the end. I don't think that's a sad thing, Mike. I think I've probably done similar to you there, and I'm quite proud of that, actually, but we'll see where it goes. Kiwi Steve 007, I love that. Usually hosts will go to a barbecue, but people have been moving around, so looking like a quiet stay in this time. Mark Bailey has put, staying in most likely. Jonah already had plans to stay up, party face, so that's cool. Let's see the first new year, that'd be nice together. Lucy Davis has put, stay in and watch it, coming in on the TV. And also look after the dog, who'll be petrified of all the fireworks. Yeah, we've got a cat that's the same. It's a sensitive time of year, certainly for pets, and I totally get that. We had 31 people jump on the New Year poll. We had some comments, so here we go. So in fourth place, I did put 4 options on here. I did put other, comment below, and we had them comment below, so that was good. In third place, with 13% of the vote, go out.
Not party animals.
Oh, no. So last decade that is going out. Last century going out. 23%. Second place with 23% of the vote is sleeping.
Sleep yourself.
Nothing wrong with sleeping in the new year, and believe me.
There is nothing wrong with that. I recommend that, to be fair. And the overwhelming winner was 61% of the vote. The comments kind of indicated that.
Yeah.
Staying in. And why not? Not the Pokemon, why not? But just why not?
Why not? Perhaps it is.
Why not?
There we go, boys. That's quite defining, isn't it, that?
That really is. Yeah, and it's the final poll of 2024.
Oh, and is it the final poll ever?
No.
Nah, probably not.
No, definitely not.
We did say we was going to break the formula. We did say we was going to break the formula.
Put 6 polls.
For 6 polls of Christmas. No, we'll see, Milo. We'll see. I think it's a staple part of the show. But then again, we say that.
We just said we was going to do shows without Pokemon Go in it, so why do we need to keep the poll?
Ditching all the sections.
Yeah.
Shines of the week.
So, Shinies of the Week. This tends to be everybody's favourite section of the show. Now, this week, as it's our New Year's show, we're actually recording this a little bit early, and we're not going to fake it for you. That's not what we do on this show. So please continue to post your Shines of the Week using that hashtag that we talked about at the top of the show and @ing us on all of your favourite social media. Be that X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Campfire, our Discord. Just keep posting them, and resuming next week, we will run through your Shinies of the Week.
Absolutely, and we'll be looking forward to seeing what pops up in 2025 . But
did you get the shiny Pikachu with the snowflake hat?
The snowflake hat on, yeah, exactly. But on the serious note of hashtag Shinies of the Week, we've had so many entries over 2024.
This year has been crazy.
Always get to them all. We do see them all. That's the key thing. We do see them. We love seeing what you guys can get, because sometimes, or actually more often than not, it's a damn sight better than what we get in the game.
It is, whether you post them on socials or any of our sort of Discord or Campfire. Every Tuesday, we are scrolling through everything that's been posted, and it's hard to pick them. It really is hard to come up with the ones that we feature.
It really is. But on that note, it is very much time to wrap up this show and 2024. So we really hope you've enjoyed listening to this one, and if you've listened for weeks or years, keep on listening. If you're new here, hit the plus or follow or subscribe button on whatever podcast platform you are listening to us on, so you do not miss a fresh drop when it hits on Sunday. And we never miss a week. We'll be back on January the 5th, that is for damn sure.
Com Day
itself, absolutely. with Sprigatito.
Sprigatito.
But we said you can follow us on our socials for more bits and pieces and get involved, etc. We've got the WhatsApp number you can send us voice messages on as well. But finally, we can safely say we would not continue to be here producing this podcast to the highest standard that we can do were it not for all of the wonderful Patreon supporters, peeps on the bronze and the silver tiers, and especially on the gold tier. All of you really do help with production and whatever goes on behind the scenes to make this sound like it does going through your ear holes. And as we do every single week, we will shout out those gold members, proper gold members. You lovely people are JB, Clifford Mert, Kerry and Zachary, Barside 2, Mandy Croft, Mr. Mossam, Dean DHL, and Mufti. Thank you so very much for all of your pledges and helping support this podcast to do what we do best. And finally, we'd love to thank our amazing duo admin team, Sue and Francesco, Hermes Ninja, and I Am Pyrrhus. Thank you so very much for all you do behind the scenes for this podcast and helping us along the way. It is greatly appreciated. But boys, I think it's safe to say we can pop perhaps the champagne. It is time to wrap up 2024.
But wait, that's not it. Before 2024 finishes, one last spotlight hour. New Year's Eve, Whitfield, it's your bay.
What?
Togetic with 2 times Evolution XP.
I'm surprised you didn't go for the good news.
Mixing it up.
On that final bombshell for 2024,
We'll see
you
in
next.
2025. Yeah.
Try that again.
We'll see you in 2025.
We will see you in 2025.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
We'll see you
in 2025.
25.
That may or may not sync up. Anyway, we'll see you all, peeps, and have a smashing new year.
Do take care.